Hey, yo, how's it going, everyone? Hopefully you're having a great day, night, or and evening. Thank you for the 106 subscribers. All of you are dope. All of you are awesome. Tremendous. I don't have anything crazy planned for the first 100, unfortunately. I was going to try and do something, but I am not feeling great today. I have a headache, and I'm kind of feeling like I'm about to throw up any moment. But we're going to have a little something here for you. Maybe I just need to eat and drink some water. I'll be alright. We'll figure it out. Today, we're going to talk about Call of Duty Black Ops 6 Zombies. Like I said, again, thank you for those 100 subs. You guys are dope. You guys apparently liked my video a lot, and hell yeah, I appreciate it. Call of Duty Black Ops 6 Zombies is pretty much what we're talking about today. Black Ops 6 as a whole has really been kind of going downhill. The numbers are not what they once were. I mean, I think it's down 143,000 players alone on the Steam charts, which I know doesn't tell everything about what's going on with the game itself. You know, I will say that, but I also will say that I have a few friends that have been diehard COD fans for at least 16 years, probably more than that, you know, since World at War Easy. I don't know how old that game is. It feels like that game's almost 20 years old at this point. But they played Black Ops 6 for probably until mid-December. They are hard grinders. They got Dark Ether, they got Afterlife camo, and then they stopped, like a lot of other people do. The difference between that, though, and the PC Steam charts, though, is PC's having a problem with cheaters, like PC always has and will continue to have, which is why, personally, I will say it's always better to play on consoles in that aspect. You're gonna, probably disagree with me. There's a lot of people who love PC, diehard PC fans. You guys have a problem on that platform, and the problem is insane amounts of cheaters. I know console isn't going to be as pretty as what you're getting. I know it's not as beautiful as having an RGB, CPU fan like I currently have on my PC, but the difference in cheaters is massive. You don't really get those on consoles, if at all. I haven't seen someone who's able to hack into the mainframe of the Xbox Series X, and the PS5 is jailbreakable if you didn't know that, but it's not able to actually go onto online servers in any such way because it is such an old software that the current PlayStation online services wouldn't even recognize it for it to go online. And I don't think there's a way like an old PS3 and old Xbox 360 where you can spoof your software to be able to go online with a modded console. That's pretty much been finished and done for the most part for years. That's really the last time that there was any modders on these games. Last time I checked, I couldn't find any others. I met one on GTA 5 apparently years ago. I don't know if it was legit or not. I actually posted a video about it a long time ago. He did have some weird things and was able to spawn in some weird cars on PS5. It was either PS5 or PS4 version of GTA 5, but like I said, that doesn't happen on consoles, so I'm going to be talking more from a console standpoint for the most part. But I do know the main reason that things keep dropping on PC is because the instability for graphics cards. I mean, you people are running 4090s and you're barely able to get your full frame percentage out of it that you should. You're running Ryzen, Threadripper cores, even though I'm pretty sure most games only take up about, 4 to 6 cores at a time. This is a situation where the PC population is dying off because Treyarch and Activision as a whole simply choose not to do anything with it. They choose not to patch it. For me personally, I think it might be a way to try and push more Xbox sales, to go more towards Game Pass in that essence for the Xbox Series X, which I will say, the Series X is a fine console. It's fantastic. It works exactly how you'd imagine. It does exactly what you want. Game Pass is great on it. You really can't go wrong if you get an Xbox Series X. Call of Duty feels fine running on it. I'm not sure if it runs at the full 120 frames. I believe it does, but I could be wrong. But for a lot of PC gamers, that's something that you don't care about. You're more interested in having frames and slight advantages by having 10 frames over someone else so you can shoot your bullets literally a millisecond faster or whatever it is. If you know anything about Destiny, though, that's the total opposite. Unless they fixed it, but last time I checked, if you have the higher your frames are, the less damage you do actually, and the lower your frames are, the more you do, which is insane. But still, I'm pretty sure that's still the truth of the matter. Black Ops 6, it's just one of those games, man. It's fun to play for the first few months, It's not necessarily a bad game, and this video isn't necessarily me shitting on Black Ops 6, because it isn't a bad game. I play these games more for zombies, and the zombie experience for me, the maps have a lot of flavor. They have a lot of, you know, aura, I guess, to them. They feel good. The characters I don't care for too much, honestly. The characters kind of suck in this. They're stupid. I don't like the one dude with the eye patch. He annoys me so much. I hate that guy. Not only that, but it sounds like he's trying to blow Richtofen all the time. He sounds like he's trying to drop on his knees. I hate Richtofen so much. He sounds like a jaded ex-boyfriend for Richtofen. And if you know Richtofen back in the day, all he wanted to do was blow Dempsey. Now it's switched. The American wants to blow the German. This isn't, it's not a bad game. There's just a lot of glitches that they've refused to fix. And the fun glitches, they remove. Which is exactly like what they did for Destiny 2. If you know anything about Destiny 2, they do that same stuff over there. There's been glitches in the games for years. They haven't even bothered patching. They're like, screw it. But if there's something that can make your life slightly easier, they patch it within the next week. The difference, I guess, there is, though, is Zombies feels like it's kind of dying in a way. The new map was good, but it wasn't great. It felt like an off version of the Rise and Drop, which is a good thing, but there's still something missing. Or maybe there's something added that needs to be taken out of the equation. I think maybe the 9-handed freaks are possibly a problem there. I know we're more powerful in zombies than we ever have been before. You can have as many perks as you want, and it's pretty easy to at least get to 50 on most maps. But I don't think that really matters in the long run of the situation of the game. And I understand it needed to evolve eventually too. And they're going in the right and proper direction. They have a proper character crew, which I don't like all of them, but some of them are fine. They have proper maps now, and they're obviously trying to put forward some sort of feeling to it. But it also seems to be missing something to me. It seems to kind of be missing the human touch. It seems that a lot of this game currently is AI generated, which I get it. It saves a lot of money, puts a lot of people out of jobs though, and it's very immediately able to be seen that these are all AI generated in some way or form. I mean, hell, there was a video some YouTuber made. I don't remember his name. If I can find it, I'll put it in the description or something, but I doubt I will. I'm not really going to look for it, I'm going to be honest with you. He was showing how the bots on these maps couldn't figure out the maps, and it was proven that way that it was AI generated, and there was a hole right in front of this bot for it to crawl through. Instead, it would reset, it'd come back, go in circles, reset, come back, go in circles, over and over and over again for however long he was doing the test. I mean, the calling cards are very obviously AI generated. The damn zombie's hand had 6 fingers or 7 fingers or something like that on it. It wouldn't have surprised me if one of them was a squid tentacle. Alright? These need to be fixed, but unfortunately this is where the gaming market's going. I have a feeling that a lot of games in our future are going to be 80% AI generated, and there's going to be maybe a few people in a writing crew who write the game and write the dialogue, which might not even help, because honestly, a lot of the problems I have a feeling is due to the AI itself, and AI is super helpful in a lot of ways. I mean, I use AI a lot myself. I use it for questions I needed answered. I could even use it for some of my thumbnail images, because no offense, I don't make any money off this channel, and that's not the goal of the channel. But for my thumbnails, I use AI images. It's easier, it's simpler, and honestly, I'm not going to pay someone $100 to make me 3 thumbnails every time when I could pay like $20 a month to have extra storage, have full-on ability from AI to make my images for me by me just telling it a few prompts a few times and then correcting it while it's going. It's a lot cheaper in the long run and a lot easier and safer option for me. I don't even know if I had someone make custom thumbnails if I'd like what they're offering me. But I don't think it really fits the same way in the video game market there. It doesn't work. When you are a professional studio owned by Microsoft with millions to billions of dollars at your disposal, you have the availability to hire people to make these images directly. I mean, it wouldn't even surprise me if a lot of these skins for the guns are made by AI too. They're generally done pretty okay, but I saw a gun the other day, a brand new skin, and it was covering the whole scope with flames. How are you supposed to shoot through that? You can't see anything through that. And it was very obviously at that point, everyone was like, this is obviously AI. They have never really messed with it too much in the past from what I can tell. I mean, if you're looking at Black Ops 2, the cyborg camo, dope. That didn't get in the way of anything though. Much simpler camo, much different times, but still the aspects of that was still there. It was a dope camo, paladin camo, the dragon camo. I mean, even the dark, not the dark ether, even the afterlife camo, I'm sure that's AI generated. It doesn't get in the way of your scope, but I don't think we knew as players how much AI was in this game until more recently. That is what I personally think is taking a lot of the soul and flavor out of this game. Not just that, but the endless chase for camo grinds, especially in zombies. Yeah, they look really cool and it gives you something to go for, but it just doesn't really work in my opinion. It was fun to try at first. Now I have diamond on most, or not diamond, opal on most of my guns, mystic gold on most of them as well, and I'm just tired. The zombies experience ain't really zombieing. The new swords are very underwhelming. I mean, they're neat. I personally only use the lion sword. They're very neat, underwhelming though. The wonder weapon from what is that called? I don't even remember the map. The laser gun that you could slow zombies down with, Terminus. Yeah, there it is. That laser gun is very neat, not that great. The jet gun's probably the best gun out of all of them, but even that doesn't really have originality. It's pretty much just the same jet gun, and people are just going to Liberty Falls to hide around and sit in the corner with the jet gun. Now, that's a good gun. That's a decent wonder weapon. That's what you expect from a wonder weapon. The rest of them, though, you know, they're not really... They are, but it's kind of like how the ray gun's a wonder weapon. In this game, it's definitely buffed, but even in Black Ops 3, it really wasn't that great of a weapon. In Black Ops 4, I didn't really play it much, so, you know, I'm expecting it wasn't that great then. And a wonder weapon to me is something that can continuously demolish zombies for rounds and rounds and rounds. Now, I'm going to compare this to the Rise and Drock's bows, or even Origins staffs. If you compare these swords to either of those maps, Origins and Horizon Drock easily win that challenge without a doubt. Those wonder weapons are just superior in every way and form. There's no doubt about it. You look forward to getting an upgraded Origins wind staff, ice staff, lightning staff. It makes sense. You look forward to upgrading the bow to be able to get the lightning bow. Some people like the wolf bow. I don't really. The void bow, the fire bow is alright, but the void bow and the lightning bow are really ones that only shine in that map, in my opinion. This map, you look forward to getting the void sword, I guess, kinda, but really, at the end of the day, you want the Sigma. You want that rocket launcher, the Sigma rocket launcher that blocks everything down, no problem. I have a feeling that Call of Duty will continue to go down this way, and they're going to continue to sell copies of the game, very obviously, because there's people who just love COD. But the zombies community's kind of come and gone, I feel, in a lot of ways. This is probably the best zombies experience they released since Black Ops 3. That isn't really too much of a compliment either, though. That just shows that the last few generations of zombies they've made have been mediocre. Now, will I absolutely come back for the new zombies map? Without a doubt. But the difference between the older zombies maps and the newer ones is the older ones had me playing it for months straight at a time, high rounding it, having fun, trying to do Easter eggs, so on and so forth. The Easter eggs in these maps, they're not bad, but they're not necessarily complex either. There's not much oomph to them. I mean, the squid and the squid and Terminus is pretty neat. Liberty Falls Easter egg kind of felt like a Der Reese Easter egg, or the giant Easter egg in Black Ops 3. And the big boss in whatever Horizon Drock 2.0 is, I don't even remember the name of it. He was neat, but you could knock him out with a drill, man. You know, that wasn't anything crazy. Horizon Drock had one of the hardest bosses I've known in-game history. That's back in Black Ops 3. I don't know if I did the Forsaken Easter egg for Call of Duty Cold War. I could have, but honestly, that axe killed everything so fast, it was ridiculous. Now, the axe, I guess, is probably in history the most powerful Wonder Weapon to exist, but this game is dry. It's going through a dry spell. PC has too many cheaters. Console is kind of keeping it alive on its own, like platforms, of course, but it feels very dry. It feels like there's not a lot of substance there, and there's too much worry about skins and trying to push more purchases. I saw that there was a Squid Games mode in multiplayer, but I'm not gonna try that. I don't care about that too much. It seems neat. Don't really care about it too much though. They're really just trying to push skins. It feels like a worse version of CS:GO where you can't sell the knives. Now if they added a weird kind of like gambling system to it, I guess it could bring back players because it'd make it so players can make profit off the game. It's kind of like where I thought Destiny should go after a few years, is have an open market to where you could sell something to someone on that market and you don't necessarily need to bring it back all the time. RuneScape does a very good job of this. I know there's a very large market on there, and I haven't played RuneScape. I actually make fun of it a lot because I don't like the graphics of it, and my buddy's obsessed with it. But they have a very good job with the market. It's what's part of, in my opinion, keeping that game alive. Having a legitimate market where you can buy and sell stuff. I mean, even Warframe has a quote-unquote illegal market, but it still does what it does. You know, it still works, and I think that's part of what's keeping Warframe alive. It's time for markets to either show up in more games where the player can benefit as well as the developer, highly doubtful for COD, or for COD to actually put more into the actual game and stop putting as much time into skins. These skins are cool looking, not interested. There are plenty of people who are out there who love the zombie bundaroo, and that's pretty much what it's called. The zombie bundaroo, which gives you the ability to shoot gobblegum bullets out of it. Yeah, that's cool, neat, Treyarch. Not really interested in paying for that. Especially when it's like, what, 20 bucks for the skin itself, and you get a new operator or whatever who's holding on to a few perks on its side. It doesn't seem worth it to me. Whatever. That's what they're pushing though. And I understand with the fact of it being on Game Pass, they need to push more sales somewhere else. But maybe you wouldn't have even had to sell your whole company to Xbox if it wasn't for the fact that you've been doing this for years to begin with. I mean, a lot of my buddies, they're playing RuneScape, one of them. A lot of the other ones are playing Valorant, and I'm not sure exactly how that game works. I've never played that, don't plan on it. You know, that's filled with sweats, and I'm not dealing with that shit. I'm not as good of a multiplayer person as I once was. Or a lot of them are playing Marvel Rivals, which, from what I've seen, you can actually mod your own characters into it. I saw a Donald Trump Captain America the other day. That was hilarious, but I also saw that there were people who were making the characters naked and adding big old schlong long dibbly doos to them. That game is also in a different space. It's kind of like to rival with Overwatch, and from what I know, Overwatch has sucked for years now. I used to play that years and years ago, but I stopped because it sucked, and not just that, but the Overwatch 2, the big point of updating and making that game, wasn't that to put a story mode into it? I digress. You know, whatever, we get that. Call of Duty is going to continue down the same path, and they're going to continue to sell copies of the game over time. Eventually they're going to put it on sale, and they're going to come out with a new COD next year, and the next year, and the next year, and people are going to continue to buy it because it's COD, and that's their favorite game. I understand. I've been there with Destiny. I have been there at its worst, and I've been there at its best. If you really want change, though, the only way to affect these people is to hit their wallets. I see a lot of people pissed off, they're mad, they're angry at the Treyarch developers. I mean, Milo, aka Mr. Waffle Waffles, is like, this is ridiculous what's going on in this game. The new sword sucked. He said that himself. Maybe not, you know, quote unquote is what he said, but pretty much to sum it up, he said the new sword sucked. I mean, as long as Zombies still feels good, I'll try the new maps, but I'm probably going to play them for 2-3 weeks at a time, hop off the game, go and try and play something else. Right now I'm going through a Dead Rising 3 run. Dead Rising 3 is great. Call of Duty is not in a great space. They need to change some things that they're not going to change because it's Call of Duty and it's Activision and it's Microsoft. And they're going to continue down this path until they milk the already dead cow dry by putting t-shirts and hats on top of it and calling it microtransactions while you take more pictures of it and buy it. During the beginning of the game's life, it feels tremendous. I even bought the Volt version because I wanted to be Brutus, and all my buddies were like, come on, you gotta buy it. Come on, you gotta be Brutus with us. and Brutus is badass. The zombies experience at this point to me is, you know, it's good, could be a lot better. Nothing really compares to what they did in Black Ops 3 and in Black Ops 2. It was a very different time though, very different lead. I also don't like the fact that in the zombies they don't have a normal, what I would call normal point system. You have to kill the zombies. Honestly, I'm gonna probably go back to custom zombies here soon myself. Maybe personally, I got too used to the fact of playing Call of Duty Zombies, brand new maps made by custom modders on a consistent basis, where I would play a map, I'd beat it, and play a brand new map. Tell me if you disagree with me on all of this. That's completely okay. That's fine. I understand why you would. Some people are probably still out there no-lifing and grinding this game, and that's fine. This game really isn't a horrible game. It's not. It has its downfalls, though. On PC, it's much worse than console. I would say that all day, every day. At the same time, I also understand it's a lot harder to program for 97 variants of PC parts than it is for a console that has maybe 2 different variations of it, possibly 3. So, like for the PlayStation, there's the PS5, and there's PS5 without disc. And then there's the PS5 Pro. So, without disc, you just gotta, it's probably simple. Just program it to, you know, same PS5. The Pro, you make it so it can have a slightly upgraded graphic margin. For the Series S and X, though, it's definitely different because one has much lower graphic abilities. And I've heard that that's a problem, actually, with video game developers. They don't like the Xbox Series S because of what it packs in there isn't great. So they actually have to hold back on the development for other such consoles every once in a while, like the PlayStation and the Series X. I think that Microsoft should just drop the S now. I mean, it's not that much. The Xbox Series X is right there. It's not like $500 anymore. They dropped it in price once or twice now, and it's still about as good as a 3060 or at least a 2080. You know, it's still a decent machine. It's not like it was the PS4 or Xbox One when it came out, where it was a subpar machine in general when it launched. It's much harder for a developer to make a PC variant of a game. There's much more going into it. There's a lot of drivers that have to happen on NVIDIA and AMD's side, and even Intel's side, since they're in the graphics card market now. There's so much variations that I understand that there are glitches, but what I still don't understand is that they can't do anything about the modders. If you don't know about this, GTA 5 came out with an anti-cheat, 10, 11 years after the fact? And the anti-cheat's actually pretty damn good. It works really well. I haven't seen a cheater in my lobby when I go on that game in months. They dropped it out of nowhere too. It just dropped one day and that's it. And that's kind of how GTA does it now. It's solid. Versus Call of Duty, I don't know what's going on with their anti-cheat. I'm pretty sure it's Ricochet. It fucking sucks. I wouldn't play on PC if I were you. I would never want to play on PC. It's horrible. It's a bad experience. The only time I like playing on PC, though, myself, is older games. I like playing older games on PC. I like playing Dead Rising series. I like playing legacy titles at this point. And I'm not running a 4090 or even a 40 series. I'm not running a 30. I'm running a 2060. It's time for an upgrade. But you know what it's not time for an upgrade for? Those older games. Because they're not going to max out my graphics card. At the same time, I understand PC is what a lot of people love doing. There's a lot of variety on a PC and a lot of upsides to a PC. There's a lot more games on PC as a whole. The hackers, modders, I don't see that going away. I don't think Call of Duty cares. And no offense, most of you are still going to play the damn game. You're going to. Whether it's next year or in a few months from now. You're going to play the game and you're going to like it. And then you're going to get sniped by a cheater. And that's the end all be all. Unfortunately, your only real way out of it is if you get a console and don't play with any of your PC friends on multiplayer. That's really it. That includes on Warzone, because from what I know, from what I remember, you can't, at least on Destiny 2, I know that how this works. You don't mix into lobbies with PC players if you're on console. You only mix in with other Xbox players or other PlayStation players, or a mix of them both. They mix together, if you get what I'm talking about. Or you could turn off crossplay and guarantee that there's no possibility for it and only play with that console's players. There was a point in time where I believed that there shouldn't be any crossplay with PC. The only crossplay should be between consoles, because I don't really care about what's going on in PC personally for a lot of games. There are some, but when it comes to games like COD, I know that's going to be ridiculous with cheaters. It always has been. Just like, what was it? CSGO, I'm pretty sure that had a ton of cheaters at one point, but Valve's pretty good with that, I think. Don't quote me on that. I think, like I said, I'm not super experienced on the PC playing market. I play Call of Duty Black Ops 3 Zombies, which has a horrible, absolutely horrible glitch, or I'm looking for a specific word, but we're going to call it a glitch, defect, whatever, inside of the game code, to where you needed to download someone else's patch for this to make it so it works. So you don't have modders coming in and putting the hard R on your stream or whatever you're doing, and then booting you off and or getting into your actual PC. Now, personally, I think Treyarch should be sued over this by someone. I think that would be a tremendous idea, but they're not going to. That's not happening. No one has the balls to do it, and I highly doubt anyone is going to win against the Microsoft Corporation that probably has loaded amounts of lawyers and will say, well, this is a legacy title. People know when they agree to terms and condition that we are able to stop providing patches and updates to it at any moment in time, and they're going to lose. Microsoft doesn't care about their old titles like that, and Activision's a part of Microsoft now, so they double don't give a shit. While I think Phil Spencer is a decent CEO in that area, or CFO, whatever he is, I also understand that Activision only wants you to buy their new games, and if there's a glitch in the old games, I'm pretty sure even Modern Warfare 3 has this problem right now that I was just speaking of. If there's a glitch in their old games, they're not patching it. That's it. You're screwed. Have your PC hacked. Have fun. Versus if there wasn't custom zombies and that didn't exist at all, I would have never even bothered really buying a PC besides to stream eventually. That's it. Unfortunately, Call of Duty is going to be in this way. It's going to be this way forever. And my honest opinion, my honest reaction, if you want to get out of the possibility of having hackers mess with your stuff, just buy a console, dude. I know you don't want to hear that because PC is great. But there's too many hackers, there's too many problems with a lot of these situations, and they're not going to get patched. They're not going to get fixed. I'm sorry. It's the reality of the situation. Go ahead and play other games if you want to, but even those are eventually going to have problems with these hackers as well. And it's only a matter of time. You're safer on console for the most part, and you're better off. You're not going to get as many frames. It might not look as great as your PC either. You're still better off. That's my opinion on this. I don't know if the next map for Call of Duty Black Ops 6 Zombies is going to be any good. No idea. I guess we'll find out. It's going to continue to drop in players. People are going to go back to Valorant, but people will eventually come back to Call of Duty Black Ops 6 as well. Per usual. Unfortunately, it's the best COD they've released in years. And that is my opinion. Maybe not the opinion of the majority, but I also feel like it is the opinion of a lot of people. Thank you for watching my video. Take care. Let me know your thoughts, comments, subscribe, like, and go ahead and tell me what you think. Tell me if I'm right, tell me if I'm wrong, whatever, and I'll try and respond to your comments. I'm pretty good at that. Have a great day, night, and or evening. Thank you once again for the tremendous 106 subscribers and counting. Maybe I'll do a special video at some point this week just for you. We'll find out. Thank you again. Take care.